Right before the All Star break, the league issued two fines under the player participation policy: $500,000 to the Utah Jazz and $100,000 to the Indiana Pacers. Not for losing and not for rebuilding, but for roster decisions the league framed as conduct detrimental, meaning the league thinks the choices cross the line from strategy into undermining competition. So here's what the NBA said plainly. With Utah, the league pointed to two games: February 7th versus Orlando and February 9th versus Miami, where the Jazz removed two players before the fourth quarter and did not return them, even though the league says they were otherwise able to continue, and crucially, the outcomes of the games were still in doubt. With Indiana, the league cited a February 3rd game against Utah. After an investigation that included review by an independent physician, the NBA said that there were three starters that could have played under the medical standard in the policy, but were held out. Now, zoom out. This isn't really about two teams. This is about a systems problem. The NBA is trying to solve a classic incentives versus integrity puzzle. The draft lottery creates a rational incentive to be bad at precisely the moment fans most want the league to be serious. That's game theory. If the expected value of a higher pick is enormous, teams will search creatively for legal ways to lower short term wins in exchange for long term assets. So the league's move here is basically fine, keep your long term plan, but if you make the manipulation obvious, especially in a close game, you're going to pay for it. Fourth quarter decisions are where competitive integrity is most visible. When you pull key players in the fourth while the game is still undecided, the product stops looking like professional competition and starts looking like an experiment with the controls removed. Now, the nerd conclusion is this enforcement can punish the most blatant behavior, but it doesn't rewrite the incentive structure. So what happens next is predictable. Teams are not going to stop optimizing. They're just going to get more sophisticated. You'll see more minutes management, more maintenance nights, more careful injury reporting, because when the rules tighten, strategy just evolves. So if the NBA wants less tanking in reality, not just less tanking in public, it eventually has got to change the payoff matrix. It needs to adjust draft incentives, create new late season competitive stakes for non-playoff teams, or build mechanisms that reward development without rewarding defeat. Until then, these fines are a message. The league isn't banning rebuilding, it's banning the part where rebuilding becomes performance art.